Now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show brings you famous celebrities and amazing people from all over the world. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking a budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, also on Anchor FM and Radio Public, as well as iHeartRadio. Also, subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on YouTube and take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with a couple of fine people from outside Chicago called River Grove, and they're Chicago-based #1 indie band. And this is the best kept secret. We are going to find out why. They've released a few of their EPs as well, too. And they also got into the first round of the Grammys, got some very nice recognition. They also had a song that was #1 for 13 weeks on Music World Radio in the UK, top 20 alternative charts. And they also got a brand new release they're going to talk about. And they've also accomplished quite a number of things and got a great story to tell. So, ladies and gentlemen, live from outside Chicago called River Grove, the two Ponhawks, Mario Novelli and Jorie Gracen. And ladies and gentlemen, they're best known as the Pondhawks. Guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Howdy, Mike. Great to be on your show.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for being on as well, too. So you're like the #1 based indie band in Chicago, the best kept secret. And I guess the secret's going to get out sooner or later. You guys from River Grove, you have a #1 hit, and you've also got a second song that's in the works right now. One of your songs spent 13 weeks on the Music World Radio charts, top 20 in the Euro and UK. And you also been in the first round in the Grammys ballots. So you also got a lot of things accomplished. But before we talk about that, tell us how you got started.
Well, we met. I was in a band already. I had a band, which we won't go over the name. But anyways, but I met Jorie we have this Midwest Beatle Fest. It used to be called Beatle Fest. Now it's called Fest for Beatle fans because of the copyright infringement. But anyway,
Fest for Beatle fans. I thought it was Fab Four or something. Can you use Fab Four? You can't say it.
Right, but you can still say Beatle fans because they're Beatle fans. You can't just say Beatle Fest. Maybe it sounds like, oh, the Beatles are going to be there. All right.
Right, yeah, that was, we were hoping,
So I'm over there and I'm looking around and I didn't know Jorie even existed or their photography did. And now this is really pre-internet, before it was, internet was the big deal. It was in the inklings. So you couldn't just go snag a photo or whatever. Like, nowadays, everybody's snapping photos. And I see this photo. Jorie had a display there. And over there, she was,
I had my Paul McCartney photos there.
Mm-hmm.
Display
she's actually, her photos have been, one of her photographs was on Paul's album. He asked if she would, if he could use it on his album, and he gave her a credit on it. It was really good.
Nice.
So
and which album was that?
Tripping a Life Fantastic, and he invited me to his party in London for the release of the album. So,
wow.
And I said, you know what, Paul, I got to wash my hair that day. I don't think I can make it. So, no, I jumped on the plane. I was like, yeah, I'm going. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting. It was just a very small bunch of people there, like 90 people. They were mostly his crew. And, I walked in there and, Linda was there and I was waiting and they walked in and I said to Paul, Paul, I'm the one that took that photo on your album. and he turns and he looks at me. I mean, he already knew me, So, and he says, well, which one? And then I kind of got in the position of the photograph that I took, which was a concert photo. And he kind of looked at me and he kind of, squinted and kind of turned his head and he said, "No, I think it was more like this." And he got right in the position of that photo.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was really cool because I didn't expect it, and then he gave me a hug and, and what are you going to do? I mean, Paul's, like the superstar, my idol. And, you have it all rehearsed what you're going to say to him. Like, thank you so much, And I started to say that about him putting my photo on the album. And he kind of said, I said, "Thank you, Paul, for the opportunity and picking my photo out." And he says, "No, I should be thanking you." And
wow.
What are you going to do? You're like, I'm ready to like fall on the floor, so faint. and then I kind of looked at him and he said, "I saw thousands of photographs and yours was one of the best." And he said,
wow.
And then he said, "It was brilliant." Okay. So at that moment, I'm like, I'm flying somewhere. I don't know where, but and I just enjoyed the party. And then, later on, we took a picture together and stuff. And I got to have
some video too.
There was video. Yeah. There's like an MTV thing of this party and I'm in it too. You can see me betting my eyelashes at him. And,
oh my goodness. I thought he was going to give you some lox and bagels for that and you say, "Hey, where's Ringo?"
No. Oh no, everything was veggie. That was all veggie. And, Linda was there and,
anytime you're doing anything with Paul, everything is veggie.
Yeah. The veggie burgers.
Everything is veggie.
Yeah. It was interesting because they don't put anything on their hamburger or anything there. There was nothing. So I guess that's the way they eat it. I don't know, but
mm-hmm.
It was a little bit different, But they were, and his band was there, and they were. I would say most of the people there were like, I'll put it delicately, not feeling any pain.
Really?
Yeah, they were just drinking a lot. Yeah, it was a restaurant that they rented out. Okay, and it had a bar and everything, and they were doing. Also, the band was doing interviews upstairs. So this was like December 1990. Right after the big tour. Flowers in the Dirt, and they were doing a lot of press. In between drinks and stuff, and it was kind of fun to just see them milling around. And Paul McCartney, he's like going from table to table, and he's talking to his crew and stuff like that, and they kind of treated him like furniture, because it's their boss. They see him all the time. And I'm like, oh my God. So it was kind of an experience, but yeah, I mean, it was a great opportunity. And then later on, I did the book on Paul McCartney, which is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame library.
Nice.
And the title is?
Paul McCartney, I Saw Him Standing There.
Wow, that is amazing. And where can people purchase that book?
Well, it came out in 2000, so they're all sold out, though you can find them on Amazon, and just places that have books, but to be like resale books. And,
and they offered Jorie a chance to get a brick in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, since it's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum.
Yeah.
Nice.
And let me tell you how nice she is. She goes, "Can I go in as a Pondhawk?"
Yeah.
So
my band.
So she goes in as the Pondhawks, and this is we've been writing partners and besties for
it's
great,
right in front of the door.
Boys.
It's right in front of the door of the museum.
That was so nice.
It says the Pondhawks have landed.
Right.
That was the name of
and
our
she
first
puts
album.
my name in front of it. Nobody does that. She's
well,
so
it's
sweet.
a brick. Everybody's stepping on it. So what?
Well, I noticed my name's the one with the gum on it.
It depends on the flavor of the gum too. So
yeah, really, yeah, we're getting walked all over. So
yeah, that party was going real good until she took the beef jerky out of her purse.
Then they threw me out.
That was it.
Yeah.
Man, was so close.
Yeah.
You're making me hungry. Beef jerky and
I
gum.
It was
What's
roadkill,
next?
Oh, no.
It was roadkill. I didn't do it.
Roadkill. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, that is just amazing.
So then, years later, like Mario, he he meets me at Beatle
Oh,
Fest, and I have photos like from the Paul McCartney show in Chicago, at Soldiers Field,
and there was the last song of the last night of the tour. It was the last time I saw Linda performing with Paul. That was a Flowers in the Dirt tour, and so she's got this. They're doing the end of the Abbey Road medley, the Golden Slumber medley, and Hamish Stewart and Robbie McIntosh and Paul are all back to back to back, and they're doing the jam. And I see that, and I go, I love that. I gotta have that picture. I go, excuse me, how much is that picture? And she goes, well, that's $70. I'm thinking, it was a lot of money back then, you know. It was like, yeah, I gotta have that picture, okay. And she's like, well, you seem like a nice enough guy. You can give me 35. And so I go, well, thanks, ma'am. You know, I say, so anyways,
it's got like the cardboard,
it's really cool.
frame.
And it's in her book. And I didn't even know the book was around. So anyways, so then she starts writing on the matting.
Yeah.
I go, wait, what are you doing? You're ruining the picture. She says, no, I took this picture. I go, oh, I'm sorry.
So, I was signing the mat, not the picture.
I thought, I thought she was like saying, okay, that'll be $35.
I think I put the price on the picture.
It's like, no.
The marker.
And she goes, I took this. And we started talking, and coincidentally, I have a friend who Paul's people had asked through Paul to film him for one of his videos.
His tour, actually.
Right.
From Chicago.
Right. It was really cool. A guy named Randy Gracen. Great guy. Filmed our first video for us.
Yeah,
the Midnight Howl video. You can take a look at that online. So I says, well, I got a friend that does Paul video. And she does Paul stills. I says, it would be cool if I could be the fly on the wall, get these two together, and I could just sit back and dig. Because, who's not a Paul fan or a Beatle fan? I mean,
right.
And so I'm like, so I invite him to this place where my band rehearsed, because Randy was going to bring this film footage over. And she goes, I'd love to see that. And so I says, well, I'll let you know. So we exchanged numbers and all that. And so I get them together, and it was fascinating, the two of them getting together. And she brings her slideshow of all pictures of she's done with Paul over the years. And Randy's got all his video walking around for 48 hours, just following him around with a camera.
Oh, my goodness.
Video camera. And it was very cool. So afterwards, we had rehearsal. It was a place we used to rehearse. And she sticks around. She goes, I didn't know you had a band. I go, well, I didn't want to really promote band things. So we're jamming around. So she's sitting like on one of the speakers or something like that. And I see her singing along, because we were doing a lot of classic rock back in those days. And maybe a handful of originals that I had written. And I see her singing along, singing harmonies whenever the harmony parts would come out. I go, hey, come on up. And she grabs a tambourine. I says, share my microphone. She starts singing along with me. And her and I sound like maybe we were related.
Oh, my
we both
goodness.
had that kind of, the Everly Brothers, anytime you're related or something like that, you got that same timbre in your voice.
It's almost like the same harmony, like with the Beatles, ELO, or say, like you mentioned, the Everly Brothers or Ides of March, or, say with Journey or any of these bands that have the famous melodies as well, too. Even Def Leppard has those bone-crunching medleys as well, too. So when you have that, I mean, you got some serious chemistry. You got some good chemistry going.
Oh, thanks. But, sometimes I've been in a band where a guy had this beautiful voice, but it just didn't blend. It was probably too beautiful to blend. Yeah, I don't know. But it was like almost operatic. And I was like, operatic isn't really for the kind of stuff I've been writing. And so we it's kind of like, instead of Phil and Donna, the Everly brother and sister. What can I say? But, so, yeah. But anyway, so I says, hey, we got a gig coming. This was a Sunday night. I go, this coming Friday, we're doing an Oktoberfest. Why don't you do the show with us? And she says,
are you crazy?
And I showed her the papers to prove that I was. So, yeah. So now she did the show with us, and she brushed up. I says, now here's the originals and here's the covers, which you know already. And, about maybe 6-7 months ago, we watched an old video of that first show.
Yeah, we hadn't really seen it.
And it was like somebody was holding it ransom. Oh, I'm just holding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and it
was
very,
like, wow, it was just like we had been playing together forever. So I says, so then she had a friend, Beetle Ed, we call him now.
Oh, yeah, Beetle Ed.
Beetle Ed.
Yeah.
We'll call him, and he's up in Minnesota, and he does a Beatle, Fab Four.
Fab Four radio. Yeah, it's just all Beatles.
So he needed he says, I could kind of use a little jingle for the show. Her and I knocked it out, and he liked it, and we've been writing ever since. This is going on our 14th year writing together.
Yeah.
Wow, that is something. And you guys just put out a few albums as well, starting in 2010. We'll talk about those, but first, I'd like to remind everybody, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also check our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, also on Anchor FM and Radio Public and iHeartRadio. Also watch the interview on YouTube as well, too, and subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show. Also take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with Mario Novelli and Jorie Gracen, best known as the Pondhawks from outside Chicago in River Grove, the #1 indie band. And they're the best kept secret, by the way. We'll get to why they're doing that. We talked a lot about Paul McCartney, songwriting, and how they came together. And first of all, before we get to some of your releases and your upcoming as well, too, how'd you come up with the name, the Pondhawks?
This is interesting. As I had mentioned briefly before, the band had a different name. My band had a different name. There was an implosion, as bands usually do have that natural half-life and implosion. And the promoters kept saying, okay, Mar, we want you to, form another band, get some background guys, and we want you to fulfill, I had carnivals to do this, that. So the promoter's like, we're doing all the posters. We need a name. And I go, give me 24 hours. So as I'm talking to the promoter on the phone, I have this Tiffany lamp. And, you ever see the Tiffany? It's got the dragonflies on it. It's very common to do with Tiffany lamps, I guess. And I've got this little miniature about 6-7 inch Hofner bass on the wall. And it's one like I use because, of course, being a Beatle fans, the first thing bass they get is usually a Hofner bass or some kind of violin shaped bass. Anyway, I'm talking on the phone. I'm looking at the lamp, and I'm looking at the bass on the wall, and I'm imagining that the bass would fit exactly in where the body of the dragonfly would be, and it was symmetrical. The body of the bass and the neck would be the tail. And I go, because I like, I've mentioned this before. I like wordplay where you use different words that really weren't meant to be together, but they sound cool together. And I like doing visual, art play, where certain things, a little bit abstract things in that two pieces of art weren't meant to be together, but if you put them together, it makes it ultra kind of cool. So I go, Hofner bass, dragonfly wings. We had to alter it so it wouldn't be exactly a Hofner, but so I tell Jorie, I go, got it. We're the electric dragonflies.
Electric dragonflies. Oh, my goodness.
And I said, no.
I said, because it sounded like Iron Butterfly. She goes, everybody's going to. I go, well, we got the logo's cool. I sent her the logo. She goes, that's a cool logo. And I go, at the time, I had just sketched it out. And then later on, I did a graphic of it. And then we just back and forth kind of mess with it a bit back and forth. At one time, actually, I don't know if I've told any radio stations about this. One time, after that, one of the brief things we were thinking about emerald dragonfly. I go, it'd be cool. We could have a little green, this and that. And we're thinking, I go, yeah. And all of a sudden we go, oh, wait a minute. Everybody's going to expect us to be this Irish cover band. The Emerald Dragonflies.
Yeah. Emerald Dragonflies. I don't know what kind of vision I'm getting, but maybe it sounds Beatlesque, almost like an offshoot of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, almost like LSD or an offshoot of Sgt. Pepper's. I'm kind of thinking of an offshoot like that. Yeah, or maybe Wings 2 or something.
Yeah, Wings 2.
Yes. So, and we got away from the old
Well, he had a book. He had a book on dragonflies.
A nature book that
Yeah.
I bought
Yeah.
while I was in Starved Rock. You've heard of Starved Rock, being from the
Yeah,
Chicago.
yes, in Ottawa, Illinois. We're over there during what was it, 5th or 6th grade, and it was like really cold. We saw some people go over there and just swim underneath that waterfall, get a shower, jump in.
Wow.
I thought, you guys are crazy, and I almost jumped in. They're like, no, don't do it.
There ain't enough whiskey in the whole world to get me under there. No way. But we love. It's another thing we have in common. We love nature.
Yeah.
I mean, nature's been part of our lives since we were babies, and so I got this, like, who else has a book on dragonflies? And, so I'm looking up all these scientific names and like, bada bing, bada bong, and this, Dragonflyicus, Flyicus, and all
the
this.
scientific names that are like too hard.
And then all of a sudden there's this cool thing called the Pondhawk, because it would probably, because finally some scientist that had some kind of artistic, must have named it or something, like, yeah, it's the hawk of the insect world. It skims over the, surface of the water. I go, what a cool kind of a visual metaphor. I go, that's cool. So but it wasn't trademarked, but it is now. Yeah. But anyway, what we did, we made it 2 words, Pondhawks, and we took the space out of the inside. So it's Pondhawks.
Yeah, we did that in the beginning just because the word, Pondhawk together may not have, made any sense, and people were mispronouncing it.
Right.
So we separated them, and then it was easy for them to remember.
Right.
Yeah, Pond and Hawks.
Pondhawks. I like that. A hawk skimming over water, which is a pond. That was very interesting. I love it.
Thank you, man. Thanks, brother.
All right, great. Okay, we'll get to some of the albums as well, too, and what's their best kept secret. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also, check our Facebook page, facebook.com/Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and also Google Play and Apple and iTunes, and also on iHeartRadio. You can also watch the interview on the YouTube channel. Just subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on YouTube and take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with the Pondhawks, Mario Novelli and Jorie Gracen. They're based out of Chicago area, the #1 indie band, and we're going to be talking about their 3 albums they released, which is The Ponhawks Have Landed back in 2010, Blue Light, and their latest EP, Dreaming Over Ireland. And before we get to some of the big songs they've had, just tell us about those 3 albums.
Well, the first one was a 14-song album. We probably should have just done 10 because, 14 is a lot to digest, but it was our first album with the new band, and we're like, you're full of, Yeah,
you just want to throw everything at it all at once. But what was good about the album was we didn't know what we were doing. We had a recorder, like a digital recorder.
A Tascam 2488, actually.
Yeah, and we would ask people. Remember we asked Mark Hudson.
Yeah, Mark Hudson.
He says, "Yeah, I use it too, but you're just gonna have to figure it out."
Mark was producing Ringo for 10 albums, so we're all
really.
I go, you produced Ringo for 10 albums. I thought he was a great producer for Ringo.
Right.
Some funny stories there, but we haven't got enough time off of that. But anyway, but he goes, yeah, and he's like, I used a 2488 too. He goes, and you could do some really good stuff. But like anything, it's not the second baseman's mitt. It's the second baseman's desire to catch that ball. If you want it bad enough, you could record it on a cassette.
Mm-hmm.
Just, if it's in your heart, you got to do it. And I encourage anybody that's listening, if you can't afford actually what we're using now is probably considered archaic for these days, but we kind of love it. And it's been lucky for us, knocking on wood. But if you got a cassette player, if you got a little reel-to-reel, if you're just recording off your cell phone, which everybody's going to do today, do it. A computer, or even if you don't have a computer, you just got your cell phone. Record off it. If your heart's in it, people will hear that. People will hear your heart.
Yeah. Well, and the thing was, like, we didn't know how to use it, but we experimented, and it took a lot of time to figure out a lot of things.
We did a lot of experimenting during that first album, and also with the recording of it too. But that's besides the point. But
and the thing is, when we recorded the first song, Midnight Howl, and if you never done this before, and there's really no book to tell you how to record or how to do this and that and EQ and stuff like that. You kind of learn by trial and error. And we thought, we got the mix, and we even asked a few people, including like Brian Ray from Paul McCartney's band. He plays.
Brian was very good. Brian's the blonde-haired gentleman.
Yeah,
spectacular.
Yeah. So we asked him because he's also a producer and stuff, and I would send him some tracks and what do you think? What should we do? And he gave some really good suggestions about it.
He would get right back to us. It'd be like 1 a.m. here, and he's like in California.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They're night owls anyway.
Yeah, right.
So and I was like, she goes, oh yeah, I'm gonna ask Brian. I go, yeah, okay. Gets back. Yeah, I really like it, but bring the guitars up, bring the keys down on this and this, and I was like, wow, how cool is this?
That's cool. And so then we went and we finished the song, and we burned a CD, and then we thought, you know what? There's more to recording, because you can make the recording, but if it's done correctly, it sounds good on everything. Like kind of just a normal stereo, not a high end, in the car. I mean, the little speaker ones. And then the thing was, we were thinking, well, how do we know if we got the right mix so it's going to sound good on everything? So we went to one of these gigantic...
A box store.
A box
store for electronics. Let's say.
Right.
I don't want to give the name.
We won't give the name out, but we
understand. We've all been there. I'll tell you that. Even some of my stuff at the big box store, or nowadays order online. So we understand.
Yeah. Okay. So we go there. And we have our CD, and we go in there and we say we want to buy a stereo system. We want to try out our CD on all the systems.
So they give us like a Phil Collins CD. They go, well, listen to this. I go, no, we want to listen to this.
Right. So
we're listening to it on every single
and we're
system.
blasting it in the store.
And everybody's listening like, what the hell is this crap? I go,
you say, no, it's Phil Collins. It's Phil Collins.
Sennheisers.
Yeah. So and the funny thing was, it was perfect on everything.
Yeah.
So,
but we did buy something from them because out of guilt.
Yeah,
alone,
right. We did. We bought some.
Bought a stick of gum,
But
checkout counter.
But that's how we figured it out. It's that it wound up being the same on everything. Computers in the car, on every stereo system from high end to low end, and then we had an idea where we had to go when we recorded each song. And that was.
And speaking of low end, the low end was a 2004 Saturn, which, by the way, still services me. God bless Saturn. That would be like, okay, it sounds good on everything, but the Saturn test. Drum roll, please. And it's like, if it sounded okay in the Saturn, it was okay, because the Saturn, it didn't have it only had treble and bass. No mid-range.
It's almost like if you put a glass up against the wall to hear something on the other side of the wall. That's what
it kind of sounded like a Pat Piper at the old Cubs game.
Piper at the Cubs game.
Yeah, but our song sounded great. It sounded really good on there.
A funny thing about that album, like Jorie was saying, the first song we recorded on that was Midnight Howl. So we recorded the thing. And we get done with it had to be one of our first gigs as the Pondhawks. And I live on this dead end street, and there's railroad tracks and a nice prairie path there. And across the tracks on the prairie path This is a cemetery, very old 1800s cemetery, and coyotes howl from time to time, and they'll answer ambulances or any sirens and
any high pitched sound that.
So. She was like, well, I've got this new kind of cell phone. You won't believe it, but it actually records sound on a cell phone. Wow, that's amazing. But anyways, back in the day, it really was. But so we waited every time. So we grabbed a couple of beers, went down to the tracks, and waited every time we would hear an ambulance. Click the phone on, and we got lucky. If you listen to the end of Midnight Howl, you'll hear an ambulance starting up, and then a coyote howling. And there's all this Doppler effect of the ambulance getting softer and louder and louder and louder and louder and louder and then softer. But the coyote remains constant.
Yeah, and in the right key, too.
And the coyote's howling in the right key. I go,
that was great.
That's it. That's a Pondhawk coyote.
It's a long
So we put that on the end of Midnight Howl.
With some backwards guitar.
Yeah, and it's cool because it was a little bit, a little bit more eerie or macabre having the ambulance stuff there. And to blend in that, we used some backwards guitar, different backwards guitar track on each side, left and right. Yeah. So make it a little surreal.
That was amazing, too. I was going to ask you, what Beatles techniques have you used? Because I was watching a movie about how they made the album. It's like, they take like a reel-to-reel and string on Coke bottles, pencils, straws, whatever it is. And next thing you know, you got like a reel-to-reel that's stretching like maybe 20 feet long and delivering just all kinds of sounds. And they also did some things with, putting little bits and pieces and just putting it together on a piece of amp packs as well, too, and just doing all kinds of speeds. So what are some of the other techniques used by the Beatles?
Right. Well, right there it was. But, in the Beatles case, and I remember the old days when I had a whole 4-track recorder, you'd have you could slow it down to cap sound, or you just take the tape out and flip it. Or you flip the tape, or you twist it.
You twist it and play it back, and it reversed. It would reverse.
Well, or what you would you would flip it and then play along to that with the lead guitar, and then flip it back and go, wow, and say you were playing C, F, G. Well, you'd flip the tape and you'd be playing, G, F, C. And flip it again, and it'll be back to GFC.
Well, we didn't have to do that because we were digital already. So we could just just take the track out and just reverse it.
Right. The only thing is with digital in the day, like I say, you could take the cap stand, you could slow it down. Case in point, there's a Beatles song, a great song, "In My Life," and I believe it was recorded in A, and they slowed down all the way and played a piano. For that bum, and then it played it in a lower key and then sped it up, and then
oh my goodness,
no human can play it now.
Then it sounded like a harpsichord, and the reason it sounded like a harpsichord because a piano has decay after you hit the note. It'll be like bung. Harpsichord is like bung. It's more percussive.
Wow,
and it's just. So that's actually a piano slowed down, played in a lower key, and then they brought it back up to A, and boom. Yeah. And it was easier for them to play the lead.
Oh yeah, because it's slower. Because they probably much harder.
So it's very cool.
Yeah. So, but we just did it the easy way. We just, we recorded it. We had a WAV file. We reversed like we had song "Weather Girl."
Yeah, but I think in a way it's kind of harder to do it now because you got to do it in your mind.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to map it out where you're going to do it and how it's going to come back.
I liked it when we would flip the tape. So you just played to that, however you want it to sound. But anyways. But yeah, Beatles were pioneered, trailblazers for everything. Still are. There's things I've been listening to them since I was a little kid. And there's things like, oh, I never realized that. These guys were brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
And George Martin.
And they sound brilliant as well, too. I've been following for quite a long time. Obviously, they're big influences. And who are some of your other favorite artists that have actually influenced you, your careers, and also your sound as a Pondhawks?
Oh, there's Paul McCartney and Wings.
Yes.
I'm talking about, other than the Beatles.
Oh, other than the Beatles.
The Everly Brothers.
Everly Brothers.
Because, now when we write a song, we we always keep the harmonies in mind. Some, you know, a lot of songs are written, the melody and the harmony a lot of times are written at the same time. Just like there'll be like a cool, you don't want to do that straight, you know, root third fifth kind of thing. We like a lot of play in the harmony, you know. You know, it might be too bizarre for some ears, but you know, it's just kind of we dig it, you know.
Yeah,
so I mean,
that's our thing. Yeah,
we're just a little message we got out there.
I think we sort of just listen to a lot of different music just to hear what other people are doing, and we just kind of filter all of that through our heads, and we come up with our own thing from there. One
of the bands was my favorite. I mean, and as much as a Beatle fan as I am now, when I was a kid, the Monkees were the thing.
Yes, the Monkees all the way. Yes.
I'm telling you, and dig this, Mike. This is like, if I die tomorrow, there'll be a lot of beer left in the fridge. No, if I die tomorrow,
I'll take some.
Hey, we'll give it to Mike. No, but
sounds good.
If nothing, my life has been fulfilled being able, because I was like Monkees, like, you know, they were like, you know, the Holy Grail. Yeah. We got to, out of the blue, got to work with Mickey and Davey a few times, you know. It's like, and became friends with the band, and they'd come to town, and we could come to come see him. Dave, last time we played with Davey, another band was scheduled to open for him, and he goes, "No, wait a minute, I don't like them. I want the Pondhawks." You know, it's like, "Oh, thank you, Davey." You know, so and then through that we became friends with Michael Nesmith through Video Ranch. The Monkees keyboard player, you know, this is when we were out. We were actually working for Paul McCartney in Boston at the time. And the Monkees keyboard player, David Alexander, lived in Boston, and you know, Jorie got him in the.
I got him. It was sold out, and I got him.
It was cool. It was cool. And we got to go to his house. So it was great. He cooked us dinner. It was a super nice guy. We're playing Monkees songs in his living room. It was like, oh. So, anyways, long story short, on the way back, and he's like, "You got to get on this Video Ranch," which is very cool. Michael Nesmith's like, so, and we become, you know, ranchers, they call it. It was a great bunch of people, ranchers, Video Ranchers, Ranchers. And our last album, which was actually Blue Light, it was the Pondhawks Have Landed, then Ireland, Dreaming Over Ireland, then Blue Light, the 3 albums. The last album, Blue Light, Michael Nesmith on Video Ranch, they threw a record release party for us, and he mentioned it. Album, well, God bless, what a nice guy. I was like, so
that is amazing as well too. We were going to talk about Blue Light as well too, and you know, maybe just a few songs you like to highlight. Then we'll get to the latest release, Dreaming Over Ireland, and you also have that song Afraid of Love as well too, and Drive. So, you know, just a little bit about Blue Light, and getting over to your other music as well too, and especially highlighting you were in the first round of the Grammy ballots as well too, and just tell us about that.
Well, the first time was for the album Blue Light, and there were 13 nominations, Grammy nominations off of the Blue Light album. You know, first round. First round, first rounders. But I mean, you know. Yeah. So we were like in the categories and stuff. And the last one was River Grove. Yeah, the last one, the single River Grove. So we got in Billboard magazine. Magazine with that. It's huge. And so Blue Light came out in 2016. Ireland came out in 2012. Was 2012? Yeah. So, and that Ireland had a Drive on it. That was the #1 song. Yeah, it was the 13-weeker in England. Right. Yeah. So Blue Light, got, you know, on the first Grammy ballot, and then last year when we did River Grove, our single, which is about the town here, that also made the first round ballot. So
nice. Mm-hmm. That is very interesting. And of course, I think I forgot to mention too that I don't know if you have your instruments ready to go. If you want to sing a cappella, maybe you can sing a couple of songs for us, either a guitar or play your piano or something, or sing a cappella too. So maybe just a couple of songs briefly for us.
If I'd have known, I would have had an instrument and been in the key. If you would be kind enough to ever have us back on your show again, we will make sure we'll be prepared and we'd be thrilled to do a song with an acoustic for you.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely.
That'd be great.
Yes, it would be. But,
we'll even throw in some fake lyrics about your show too during the song. we'll kind of mesh them in there for you.
Oh, there you go. I love fake lyrics, I have to say, and make sure they're good. No, I'm kidding.
Why should we? We never do make sure our lyrics are good. Why should we start a new trend? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, there you go. That's another trend. It's like, get on a host and make up lyrics about a host and put them in songs. Something I was going to ask you about if you're going to have an upcoming album like that, or do you have another one planned? If you do, maybe tell us about that.
I don't know. Hey, we got that song Fire Eyes. We could have KFYI. K-Fire Eyes. Because FYR is like, you're like K-Fire, you probably, right?
Yeah, we call ourselves K-Fire, but this is the Mike Wagner Show. We're totally separate from it, although we are iHeartRadio. But
we're going to have to work on the Mike Wagner thing.
Okay,
oh, there you go. You know what? I'll give you guys a homework assignment. As soon as we're done here, which is not going to be a while, I'm not going to cut you off right away. It's like your homework assignment is to write a song about me, the Mike Wagner Show, and you've got 24 hours to turn it in or else. I'm kidding about the 24 hours.
Well, it's no problem. The liquor store is still open. We can still do it in 24 hours.
Oh, there you go. And plenty of beer as well, too. So
they'll be just like, like Al Yankovic does. We'll just do, parody lyrics to one of our songs,
Yeah, we could do that.
That would be good.
And, of course, speaking of liquor and everything else, you had a song called Winter Wine, which you heard on a UK radio station in 2015. And of course, that's one of a few Christmas songs, maybe one of them. Just tell a little bit about that, too. Got some recognition out of it.
Yeah, sometimes we'll just release it as a single and not on an album. Winter Wine is about, it could be about a host of different scenarios, but it's somebody who's celebrating the holidays. Whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, could be Thanksgiving, could be New Year's, could be anything that whole winter, when, you're a Midwesterner, right? Originally.
Right.
And, when, the air gets a little crisp and people are like digging in for the count and, and somebody who's all by themselves that holiday season. Now, is their loved one, overseas? Are they, gone permanently? Are they gone on holiday? Or are they gone, you don't know. We like to leave a lot of our lyrics open-ended. But they're reminiscing of the great days of
when they were together and stuff. And I'll tell you that song, when it came out, it kind of wound up on iTunes and stuff. And we even did a comedy sweeper for that.
Oh, yeah.
That wound up also on iTunes. I don't know how people have been buying that, and since Winter Wine came out, it's really been selling. I mean, I can't believe it.
Ever want a comedy sweeper? Just ask us.
Yeah, we got.
I did not know you wrote comedy. That's the thing. Maybe you can just give some comedy skits next time we have you on, or something, or do some stand up.
Yeah, we have some really good ones too. They're all clean. Yes.
Yeah,
but no, they are. Yes, they are. So.
Oh my goodness! I mean, that's just amazing as well too. And of course, you got those three out as well too. And you can tell everybody where can people can purchase the music. And what would you say your favorite project has been and the most challenging?
The most challenging? For you, Jorie? What was it?
I think it was just after recording all the tracks, just trying to make sense of them, doing stuff like that. And as far as writing, I think the challenge, it's like
different challenge every time.
Right. It is.
It's like opening up a new book and saying, now what's your favorite chapter? My favorite chapter in that book was,
well, because we'll be like, discussing how lyrics, what we want to put in the song, where it's going, because then again, you want it to fit the music too, so you have to come up with something that you can sing that works well with the song, and and that's a whole other thing. You could have the melody, and now you've got to work on the lyrics to work with that melody.
And lyrics are like a living language. They're always changing. Sometimes, and very often, they, when you first record a song, you record the dummy tracks, which are pretty close to what is like. Paul McCartney wrote yesterday. Originally, it was scrambled eggs. You know that, right?
Scrambled eggs. I think I heard about that. Scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs. Oh, I like to eat my scrambled eggs. But he goes, "Well, I'm gonna write something cool. Don't worry." But except when he did like, and not to use another Beatle reference, but I got to because we're fellow Beatle freaks. But and he, like, "Hey Jude," he goes, "The movement you need is on your shoulder." And you remember him saying to John, he goes, "Hey John, don't worry about it. I'll change that. I was just fitting it in." And John said, "I don't know you won't, Paul. I know what you mean by that." And he goes, "All right, so I'll leave it in." No,
it's like he's got a parrot on his shoulder.
Right. Yeah. So, but every song there's is because you develop this tunnel vision when you're working on that song. So every project at that moment becomes the most challenging.
And the thing is, we could spend like 4 hours trying to find the right word that had to go right into the lyric. I remember that time we.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, there's a lot of, but that was like that one. Like one word could make a difference in a paragraph.
Yeah, because we like to do our songs so they paint a picture, so that everybody who listens to it maybe gets a different picture of what it's about, and it has more to do with their history, kind of thing, where they can relate to the song from something that's happened in their life.
We use a lot of metaphors too, so we like when you're painting lyrics with metaphors, that tends to lend it to different people's different views.
Right. Yeah. We like to make it more poetic rather than just kind of like saying it, We want to, use words to describe it and
not give it away exactly.
Right,
what it means.
Everybody should have their own
it means just like everything in life means something different to everybody else.
Yeah, and I think a good song brings that out. People get a different take on the same song.
If somebody may hear a song, even though somebody's like songs I hear today, I'll be driving in a car, like one song might say, "Wow, what a beautiful song. It reminds me of a great time." And maybe make somebody else cry, thinking of some great part of their life that was gone. And that's the kind of thing. I think one of the cool things in this day and age with the cell phones, there are places that have cell phones that, everybody's got a cell phone in every country, and people you're not going to ever meet. And this is the cool part about it. And this is like the universal love about it, is that there's people you're never going to meet. They don't even speak your language, but they don't have to, because music is universal, And so they get this. We get these messages on our website or something, and it'll be translated. Heard your song, made me smile, made me think of somebody I miss, and translated from a different language. Some countries you may never even heard of, but it's a beautiful thing. You've touched somebody's soul.
Right, and the thing is, it's a universal thing. Even you're in different countries, different languages, and we all speak the same language. Right. Basically, music is a language.
Yeah, music is a language.
It's a universal language.
It sounds like different meanings to most countries as well, too. And there's another question that has popped up in my mind as well, too. With the lyrics you have written and with the songs you have written, how much percentage would you say, or the majority, are the songs based on your personal lives?
Oh, everything's based on experience.
Yeah.
But, in our personal lives, maybe sometimes experiences in our dreams, because we all have dream experiences, too. So we're drawn on that, too.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of our experiences and other people's stories, and also something that's very common to all human beings,
Right.
where they can relate to a scenario that we put in the song.
Right. But even if it's somebody else that that gave you the story, say, well, I've got this, like this last one, Afraid of Love. Well, we all know people that are like, to say, shut-ins, that, oh, nope, I know what love's all about. You stick your heart on the chopping block and bam, that's it. And then you're hurt worse than ever. That's terrible, and they become reckless. It's kind of like, there was a Simon and Garfunkel song called I Am a Rock. Have you ever heard it, Mike?
Very familiar, and I'm a huge Simon and Garfunkel fan. That is the ultimate classic.
Us too. 2-part harmony. We love it.
Yes.
And I Am a Rock. When I was in 7th or 8th grade, my English teacher brought that and a handful of other songs and mimeographed it. And I say mimeograph. That was the old way they used to print up the sheets. She was a really groovy teacher for the day, and she says, tell me what you think this song's about, and don't give me what just tell me what you think about. There's no right. You're not going to worry about a grade. And that was the beginning. And I go, wow, that's cool. I Am a Rock. That was my first real experience with metaphors. I was like, this is cool. And that probably was a good influence on this song. I Am a Rock was a good influence on the subject matter, even though it sounds nothing like it. Right. We have our own signature sound that we can't help, like it or not. Yeah. Hopefully you like it, but even if not, we can't. That's our signature sound. We can't sound like Simon and Garfunkel, but
we sound like us.
Yeah.
So, and we also, because of that, we can kind of do different genres also, and I think that people will still recognize that it's us.
Sure.
And what are some of the different genres that you have covered as well too, or plan on covering?
Well, take it from the Dreaming Over Ireland album. We did a song called The Raven Flies Away. Now that was based on the spiraling last week or two of Edgar Allan Poe's life.
Wow.
And it's a waltz. It's a 3/4 boom tee tee boom tee. And it's done in traditional waltz time. And we decided to do it on only instruments that were available or reasonable facsimiles thereof. We may have to use a sample of it and draw that through our guitars or whatever. Even the bass, we use a string bass.
Wow.
Only instruments that were available during Edgar Allan Poe's lifetime.
Yeah, the intro is like a sound of like a piano playing like
a hurdy-gurdy.
Or something. Yeah, like on a gramophone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right. I remember those classics, and I can imagine, Edgar, nevermore.
Nevermore,
Yes.
nevermore. And we did a song called Time Flies, which was about Buddy Holly.
There was yes.
Yeah.
It was about the passage of time. We did it. We were on the phone and says, hey, we're looking through the internet. Hey, look, today is 50 years since Buddy Holly passed in Big Bopper and Richie Valens. And just out of blue, said, wow, time flies. And I go, we're like, that's it. That's the title.
Yeah.
And we figure we'll do it real 50s like.
And we'll put a lot of his song titles in the lyrics when we sang it.
Right. Little cookies for the Buddy Holly fans.
And at the very end of the song, when the song ends, you can hear like the scratches of vinyl, because that was it in the day. And I recorded that from my aunt's album. My aunt in the 50s was a jazz singer on Mercury Records.
Oh, really?
I took her album and I sampled the scratches on there to put at the end of the song there from the 50s. Yeah.
Nice. And who is the name of your aunt on that album on Mercury?
Thelma Gracen.
Thelma Gracen. Okay, we'll look that up and check out the material. That is just amazing. And and of course, we got a few minutes here. We definitely love to have you back on. You can play for us. You guys have been fantastic. Besides, the Beatles, Everly Brothers, and many others being influences. Who else do you consider biggest influences in your careers?
Jim Croce for me.
Yes, Jim Croce.
When I was 14, I met Jim Croce by accident. I was 14, and boy, this is going to give away the old age. No, I was 14.
Only time in the bottle, though.
Yeah, boom, boom. But so I'm 14. My buddy calls me around. It was August of '73. Around
Soundstage?
Yeah, well, it was called Made in Chicago at the time, which later became Soundstage when it was released. WTTW, the PBS station out here. My buddy calls. Everybody's got that friend that would always, you're the 15th caller. You just won a free concert, and he was that guy. So my mom wakes me up like 10:30 in the morning. She says, "Mario, wake up. Mike's on the phone." I go, "What does he want?" And he goes, "He just won some concert tickets. He wants you to go with." Okay, I go, "Hello," and he goes, "Yeah, hey, get dressed. My mom's going to take us down to Channel 11 Studios. We're going to go see. I won free tickets to a concert. She won't let me go by myself because we didn't drive because we're 14, And so I go, "Oh, who are you going to see?" And he goes, "Jim Croce." I go, "Who the heck is Jim Croce?" He goes, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You'll know when you see it, but it's free."
Nice.
Okay. So I go and I'm going because it's my buddy. And I get there and, we're the two little iconoclasts sitting, the rest are adults standing in queue along waiting to get into the soundstage. And here comes Jim Croce and his brilliant lead guitarist, Maury Muehlheisen.
Nice.
Brilliant. And they come strolling in. I'm wearing my East Leiden t-shirt. And Jim and Maury walk past and they stop and he turns to me and he goes, "Hey man, East Leiden, really cool." And I was like, wow, he knows my school. And I'm thinking, now I'm an adult, and I'm thinking age-wise I am anyways. But so I'm like, well, he was just doing it to win us over, thinking, oh, these two are going to be trouble. Let's get on their good side. Really brilliant. He knew how to work the crowd. Great guy. So we get in there, and it's all acoustic. Jim and Maury playing the acoustic guitars, and I'm mesmerized. And of course, they break for lunch, go to the commissary, and he's eating with us all. And he goes, "I just remember you guys were sitting," because it was filmed, and it was called Made in Chicago. Of course, a month later, Jim passes, in a tragic plane crash.
My goodness. Yes,
And,
I remember that. I was very sad. And of course, I give away my age as well, too. It's like, what was it? 73, passed away, 9 years old, is getting into music. It's like, I want to see Jim Croce. It's like, I'm going to check out his album. And that was like the first hearing about, a singer killing a plane crash. I went, a singer killing a plane crash? I went,
It's September 20th, 73. I was waiting for the bus in front of the post office here in town. But the thing is, after I saw Jim and Maury, I was just blown away. And you know how, a lot of teenagers, you got that acoustic guitar sitting around, or you jam a little bit, but you're not doing anything real serious. I was studying the way he's holding the guitar and this and that and watching. So do you remember the old Zaire stores?
yes, I do. What was it like? The rival at Kmart or something?
Yeah,
supposedly cheaper?
Kmart
Oh, my
kind of
goodness.
But it was great. Go ahead.
I've got some interesting Zara stories to tell you, but we'll do that off the air, though. So
Cool.
Oh,
So
okay.
now, like I say, I don't drive. I take a walk to Zaire's. This is mainly about a mile away. I take a walk to Zaire a few days after the Jim Croce thing. And I'm looking, and they had up and down the record aisles. And at the end of the record aisles, they always had the sheet music. And I'm looking in the sheet music, and I see this Jim Croce songbook. I go, that's the guy.
oh my
It's the
gosh.
guy. And I go, I'm looking through the pictures and the stories. I'm buying it for the pictures and the stories because at the time I didn't read music. So,
Mhm.
I'm looking and I go, there's those doggone boxes on top of the steps
With a little
with the
dots,
lines and the
black
dots. I
dots.
go, why do they do that?
What is that?
Why do they waste their time with that stuff?
What is
It's
that?
got to mean something. And all of a sudden, I'm in Zaire. The light bulb goes on. And all of a sudden, I go, oh, wait a minute. That's the end of a guitar fret. And those have got to be where your fingers go. So I buy the book, go home, start playing. That was it. Beginning of it for me.
started
That
it
was
off,
it.
yeah.
And then from there, I go,
Wow. That was amazing. And of course, just a few minutes here before we let you go. And you guys are very busy. Definitely like to have you back on. What's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Never mix beer and wine.
Never mix beer and wine.
What
That
about
is
you,
the
Jorie?
most original.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have to agree with that because I've seen the results. No.
Don't worry. I told you I cleaned it up. I could get the faders to go up and down again.
No.
Never mix beer and wine. I'm going to have to challenge another guest to top that one. Of all the hundreds of people I've interviewed, that's probably the best advice there is. I'll take that to heart.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Hey, guys, you've been fantastic once again. It's the #1 indie band in Chicago. And, I forgot to ask you, where will you guys be playing next?
In the basement, actually. We got a rehearsal on Wednesday.
Anywhere.
You guys always Mike, you're always welcome to stop by and hear us rehearse in the basement.
And jam with us.
Yes, there you go.
Sounds great. We'll do that. It's a Pondhawks founded by Mario Novelli and Jerry Gracen. And tell everybody where can we find your music, what's the website, and how do people contact you?
Okay. Facebook for sure. It's you can do Facebook and just type in the separate word pond separate word Hawks, and you'll find us. We just passed 600,000 on our Facebook page.
Wow.
Yeah, and our website is www.pondhawks.com, and you can read all about us and our crazy interviews and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on everything. We're on all the usual things, the Spotify, the iHeart, you can find us everywhere. We're on Amazon, iTunes, Apple Music. It's just, I mean, whatever you like, just look for Pondhawks and you'll find us.
That is great. Okay, guys, just want to say thank you very much for your time. You guys have been fantastic. We're looking forward to having you on again soon, and please do everybody a favor, keep us up to date.
We will, and thank you, Mike.
Yes, thank you, Mike. You're a great host and a great guy, and we feel so comfortable talking with you.
Yes.
Thank you for making us feel comfortable.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. Also, become a sponsor of the program and or donate today at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of The Mike Wagner Show.